All right, we got some more coming. So this one is about food. All right, food pathways is probably the most important thing because in African American communities, we're surrounded by fast food. We do not have the cultural recipes sometimes to have the fresh vegetables. In fact, some of the work we're doing with Asian community is the fact that they introduce some of the low cost broccoli and the low cost vegetables in our community already cooked because we need it cooked because the recipes are gone. Right? So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about. But look at how foodways started, especially in the Caribbean.
Clay pot for now. Watch and see how different cultures start to add to that pot. When you look at many of the fruits that have been most synonymous with the Caribbean, such as breadfruit, mangoes, and sugarcane, we automatically think these fruits originated from the Caribbean, right? But the truth is, they're not. You have the European settlers to thank for that, as the Spanish, French, and English introduced many of these fruits and ingredients from other places. So the next question you might be asking, if breadfruit, mangoes, and sugarcane aren't Caribbean in origin, then what is? That would be the yams, papayas, guavas, and cassava scattered around the archipelago. This was the diet of the first true settlers of the Caribbean, the Carib, Arawak, and Taino tribes that came from South and Central America. And when it comes to the seasoning of meats and fish, the Caribs introduced various spices to their recipes. After the Amerindians and Europeans' contribution to this pot, came the Africans through the Atlantic slave trade, and this is where things started to get a little dark with regards to food. You see, for the Africans, blending different unfamiliar ingredients into their recipes wasn't a matter of delicacy. It was often essential to their survival. A slave's diet in those days mostly consisted of the foods that their slave masters didn't want to eat themselves, so they had to get creative. They blended their traditional African foods with the staple foods they found on the islands, introducing things such as okra, callaloo, saltfish, and ackee into the mix.
I want to touch on the question that's like highlighted right now. How does food connect us? Just because kind of growing up in African American culture, being from Washington D.C. area, I ate a lot of African American cuisine. I guess for a lack of better terms, because we don't necessarily have our own cuisine, but we do growing up. But I was not exposed to a lot of different cultures until actually moving to Boston and being engaged to Aaron. I have now started to eat more West Indian, Caribbean cuisine, and now I'm to the point where like I'll wake up on a Saturday morning and I'm asking for bacon saltfish, which is like a Trinidadian breakfast that is amazing and like my go-to now. And so I just, in terms of connection, I feel like just a deeper connection to the Trinidadian community and culture as a result of just like the food. And now like waking up on Saturday mornings and listening to the music, listening to soca music while eating the bacon saltfish, and then going out to a family party, you put all these different things together and you feel that stronger connection to a culture that you never were exposed to. And I think another thing is just the importance of exposure again, and just information and education about cultures.
He was blessed with a good wife. Is blessed with a good. Amen. Let's get there.
I just want to add to his point too, though. But I'm here, eating mambo wings and having like full listening to go-go music, trying to both like learn and better understand the culture. I had never been on an HBCU campus before dating Anthony. Anthony took me to Morehouse. That was my first time in the South, beyond Virginia. That was my first time in the South, first time on the HBCU campus. I had no real recognition of like what Divine Nine was. I remember trying to tell my mom I wanted to join a sorority in college, and she's like, "I send you to school to learn. I don't send you to school to socialize." And then all of that was off the table. And so she did not pay for that. That was not for me. But getting to see Anthony and his fraternity and the role he has in his fraternity and the beautiful brotherhood and sisterhood, honestly, he has with the Spelman girls as well. That has been integral in his life. But honestly, a lot of them have become my friends, and it has opened me up to a whole other life and seeing things, even though I was raised in America my whole life. And the last piece I'll say here is we now have created a fusion dish of Trinidadian and DC culture. It's a jerk mambo sauce salmon.
What's up
It's
with
really
it? I
good.
want some of that jerk mambo
I'm
sauce,
gonna have to
girl.
drop the recipe in the chat, but season that salmon in some mambo, throw the and some jerk seasoning, throw the mambo sauce on it after. It's good.
Yeah, it
That
sounds like a
sounds good.
plan.
Yeah, we need some of that,
Mambo
please.
sauce and go.
Yeah, I wanted to add, like, as far as how food connects us, I would say food connects everyone in the world because we all have to eat. And, from an African American standpoint, anytime anything happens, come on in and sit down and eat some of this cornbread and rice and beans. Come on in and sit down and eat some of these collard greens and black eyed peas. Like, anytime something happens, good, bad, ugly, you gonna come and we gonna sit down and we gonna eat.
Right.
So that's how food connects us. No matter what, you're gonna get hungry and you're gonna have to eat.
Right.
Right.
I told you the most restorative thing in the world is a plate of chicken. People come from all across the world to come and build a community around chicken. I don't know what it does, but it do. Nice.